Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Nicole with Made from Scrap, and today I'm going to be doing a little tutorial for this sheet pocket booklet. It is made with a base from a 12 by 12 sheet of of pattern paper, and I used the Forever Friends for this one. It has a couple of pockets. It has a belly band for something. It has another pocket in the top. It has a couple of flips here. I've added a little pocket here, and there's also another kind of hideaway spot under here that you can use. A couple different sheets. So it's really quick. It's really fun. One of the key things on this is to just keep in mind that it's easier with a paper that is not directional. So I'm going to be using the Bloom Where You're Planted paper collection from Country Craft Creations. There's a number of sheets in this collection that can be used for this quite easily. It's not to say that you can't use a paper that is directional, and by directional I mean like this, so that you can see the wording up here and you would know if it's turned upside down. Now you can still work with some of these papers. In fact, with this example, I actually worked with this paper and this side is upside down, but I used it behind the pocket, and as long as you have stuff in the pocket, you really don't notice. The other thing that I did, you would have seen the paper underneath here behind this pocket being upside down, but of course I put a pocket so you didn't end up seeing it. So anyway, let's get started with the tutorial. So I need to pick a sheet first. From this paper collection, I have this yellow check and it has these circles on the back. I have this one which has a little bit of directional to it. So like I said, you can use that, but just know what you're going to be dealing with there, which is not too bad. So I'm going to set that one aside for now. I have this one that has the entire blue and white. And then I have this darker one with the blue and then white floral on the background. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and use, I think I'm gonna use this one so that I have the floral on the outside. And then we will set these other sheets aside so that I can use that on something else. So grab your scoreboard. You're going to set your 12 by 12 paper in, and if you have a directional sheet, you're going to want to make sure to set it sideways like this first, okay? But roses are not so much directional here, so let's just pretend this right-hand side is the top of my page. I'm gonna go ahead and score at 6 inches. So that's the first score line, okay? Then I'm gonna go ahead and rotate it to the left, just a quarter of a turn. And if you think you have a directional, just make sure that your top is at the top of your scoreboard now. And we're gonna go ahead and score this at 3.5 all the way down and 8 inches. So your first score line was at 6. You're going to rotate it a quarter turn, then you're going to score it at 3.5 and 8 inches. Okay, that's it for the scoring. I'm going to set aside my scoreboard, and then I'm going to grab my scissors. And we're gonna cut from, very hard to see on this, we're gonna cut from this intersection all the way across to the edge. So this was the middle score line, it's at 6 inches, and 3.5 inches in. That's where we're gonna end our cut. So I'm gonna turn it sideways because this will make it easier for me. I am just going to barely cut out that little score line. So the thickness of that score line, I'm gonna go ahead and cut that out. As you can see, I have that little strip right there, and it just pulled it off. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is to make sure to fold this back, just like this. Okay, fold the back, the bottom underneath. And then from there, we're going to make sure that these align and then burnish our score line. And then we're gonna take this top piece and fold it back like this to the left, burnish here. Okay, and then we're gonna fold it again this way and burnish again here. Okay, and then we're gonna pick this up, this whole thing up, and you're gonna flip it over this way. Okay, and now we're going to fold this left side, roll it back, burnish here, and we're gonna pick this up, fold it back, and burnish here. Make sure your bottom is aligned. Get off a little bit there. So make sure to fix that score line. Okay. And what you end up with is a booklet like this that'll flip open this way. You'll have this center section here, and then you'll have this back section that flips open this way. And this center section is like this. So what you can choose to do is to hold these closed by gluing that bottom edge closed like this, and you can fold down to make a pocket here if you like. Or what we're gonna do is go ahead and, for the time being, hold this open, but go ahead and use a hole punch. And I'm gonna go ahead and just eyeball the center here and take a notch out of that. That's what I'm gonna do there. Okay. The next thing that I wanna do is I wanna work on this front flap. So to make this a little easier, I'm gonna go ahead and fold this in. You can do it either way. You can cover this up, or you can fold this underneath. The point is just to get it out of the way. So this is our front. I'm gonna open it up this way and then fold it out again. Okay. Next I'm gonna take another piece of the collection. This measures just shy of 5 inches wide and then 2.5 inches tall. So just shy of 5 inches and then 2.5 inches tall. We're gonna score that at 1/2 inch on 3 sides, just like that. This is gonna be a pocket. We're gonna cut out our corners, just like this. Okay, then we're gonna fold in the sides. We're gonna place glue here and then fold up the bottom. Okay, and that's gonna be our pocket. So I'm gonna grab my art glitter glue, This is my go-to glue, available at Country Craft Creations. I'm gonna stick a little bit of glue beading there and fold this bottom section up. I'm gonna let it take hold and burnish this pretty well. And this is gonna fit right down here. We want it to be a little bit shy of the score line so that this will fold over. So I'm gonna place glue along these edges, and then I'm gonna go ahead and line this up with this bottom outside corner and go ahead and burnish this down. And that's gonna be our first pocket on there. Okay. Next, I'm going to grab another piece of design paper. This one measures about 4 7/8 inches wide and about 5 7/8 inches tall. So make sure it's narrower than this center section and just narrower or the same height as your height here in the center section. You're gonna score it at 1/2 inch on this 4 7/8 inch dimension. You're gonna score it at 1/2 inch. You're gonna roll that under. We're gonna place glue on that 1/2 inch flap. And then that folded edge is gonna go just to the side of that score line. Don't place it on top of it. You wanna go just to the side of it. We're gonna go ahead and burnish that down. Okay, you also want this to be just shy of your score line over here or shorter. Either way is fine, but not longer. Okay, just like that. And then that will open up. Make sure that this is straight. Okay. Now, the next thing we're gonna do is, where's my piece at? Cool. We're gonna, okay, cut another piece of decorative paper, and this is gonna measure 7 inches in width by 4.5 inches in height. You're gonna score it at 1/2 inch on 3 sides. This is gonna be another pocket. Just like this. We're gonna cut out these corners. Just like that. And the other thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna cut out a 1/2 inch on these top corners as well. So I placed a little score line there just to allow me to see where to cut. See that little score line right there? Just this corner section. I'm gonna cut that out. You can also cut this at an angle, just like that. Okay, that works as well. Oops. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and tuck this left side under, and we're gonna then tuck the bottom 1/2 inch up. Don't do this right-hand side 1/2 inch just yet. We're only gonna do this one side. So place some glue there. Let's get this to hold real good. Burnish it. your bottom section. We're gonna work with this section right here. So right now it's open at the top and open at the bottom. Set this down for a second. We're gonna go ahead and open this up just like so. And we're gonna place a bead of glue along the inside of this folded edge. Okay, and then we're gonna put that back together. And we're gonna burnish that. So we're gluing the bottom section of this pocket together. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and burnish this side as well. Now, we have this open section here, and I want to be able to have the full height of this pocket. So with this portion that we just did, I'm going to wrap this right-hand side inside here, inside the pocket. You can see that? And we want to make sure to, oh, see, that's what I should have told you all. Let's stick this in first so that we make sure that we don't glue it together. So lesson learned, place glue here. That's the inside of this pocket, okay? And I'm going to place this tab inside so that the folded edge here matches at the top. Just like that, okay? And then this is going to be, we're going to place glue here on this 1/2 inch flap and this 1/2 inch flap. And with this page over to the left, we're going to flip this down onto it. And make sure that you're not going over the fold over here, because we want to make sure that we're not going to be in the way for this page. So hold it straight and burnish. When you open that up, you should end up with a pocket here and a pocket here. And if you want to round those corners, you could do that. Okay. Maybe on this flat page, maybe I'll do that as well. Ready for me here and here. I have these dual pockets. This dual pocket here. We have one here, and then we have one here. I just put a notch in this second one as well. So if you wanted to put a notch, you can put a notch. I'm gonna leave this one alone, and then I have this on this side. Okay. The next thing we're gonna do is on this back flap, I'm gonna open this up, and on this inside portion of the page, I have another piece of the pattern paper, and this measures just under 7 inches in height. And it is 1 1/4 inches wide. I score it at 1/2 inch on both sides. Bend it over, and I'm going to place some glue on this and this. And I'm going to go ahead and place this down. I'm going to eyeball it in the center. And if you wanted to do the horizontal, you would just measure your page here and add an inch and cut it just short of that measurement. That way you're just short of the score lines. But here I'm doing it vertical as a little variation. So now I have this belly band to work with. I have these dual pockets here that has the full length in it. So I could put this whole thing in here. I can put the whole thing in here as well, which I think I will go ahead and do. Just trim these corners. This is another piece of the pattern paper that I cut that measures 5 3/4 inches by, did I get that right? By 4 1/4. 5 3/4 by 4 1/4. We'll just stick that right down in there. Okay. All right. Get this one, yeah. Okay. Now we're going to work on this back section right here. And for that, I want to do this little policy envelope. Okay. So I'm going to take a piece, and we're going to do some folding on here, so I need my scoreboard. This measures 5 3/4 by 6 inches. And I'm going to go ahead and measure 3/4 of an inch for the 5 3/4 inch side, 3/4 of an inch, and I'm going to go ahead and score that. And then I'm going to measure, what was it? I already forgot. Yeah, 3 1/2 inches. Okay, and then I'm going to rotate it 1/4 of a turn. And I'm going to score this at 3/4 of an inch and 5 inches. Okay, that's it. Now what I'm going to do is burnish all of these. And I'm going to cut out each of these corner pieces. This, like this, including the score line. Cut out all of those corners, and I'm going to go ahead and round the corners on these flaps. I'll do that here. I'm going to do that here. Okay. Move this off to the side. Now, before I start gluing, and if you're off just a little bit, just bend that back, and let's go ahead and trim that. Okay, so your ends match a little bit better, and you might have a fold that's gone crooked like I do, so we can straighten that out. Now on this, you're going to have just enough space to put a little glue. But before we do that, we're gonna go ahead and use another circle punch. So I have a 1-inch circle here, and I'm gonna take a piece of, yep, this will work, a scrap piece that I wanna use for the color. And I'm gonna go ahead and punch 2 circles. That will work. Okay, I'm gonna layer them on top of each other. And I'm just gonna use my pokey tool. I'm setting them on my mat, my measuring mat, self-healing. And since it's a 1-inch circle, I'm using my mat as a guide, the grid as a guide. So layer them on top of each other, and you can kind of eyeball where this intersection is going to be. And you're going to place your pokey tool. And then I'm going to pick up these and just use this as an owl and make a little hole right there in the center. This way you get both of them right in the center at the same time. Okay. With that, I'm gonna grab a couple of little tiny brads. Let's see. I want to use this one and this one. Set those aside. Okay. I'm just eyeballing where this is going to go, right on my flap here. I'm going to just hold that down for a second, fold this back, and then I'm going to use, you can either be careful of your fingers, place a hole in that, and put your brad through it, and then just open that up. Okay. And then fold that down so you can get an idea of where you want this circle to go on your policy envelope. Same thing, don't poke a hole all the way through. I'm just using this so that it doesn't move. Okay, because see, you don't want to center it on this piece because that wouldn't be the center of the policy envelope. So we'll go ahead and place this down. And now since this is the inside, this is going to be in the way of whatever you want to slide in here. So I'm going to use a scrap piece of my decorative paper, and I'm going to glue that down so it's over top of these brads. Okay, so let me just glue that down quick, right over top. I want to place it close to the top of that policy envelope so that when you're putting things down in there, you're not catching the top lip of this piece, okay? And I want to make sure this is glued down pretty well to cover that up. Okay, now what we can do is fold this side in and place just a little tiny bit of glue along the edge here. And then on the inside of this flap, we're going to place a little tiny bead of glue along the very edge here. Now we're going to fold these two together so that they overlap, just like so. You should have a tube. I want that glue to hold. You should end up with a tube. And then we will fold the bottom up. So we're going to place glue again along the edge of the policy envelope, just a little tiny bead, and then along the edge of this flap. And that should hold it shut pretty well. Okay. You're going to take you a bit of string, and this just measures about 7.5 inches long. I'm going to start here by tucking it underneath, so I have the short end there, and I'm going to just wrap this around like so, and then just barely lift this up a little bit. And now you have the ability to wrap it around here, just like that, okay? You don't need a whole lot of twirling. It's just something to keep it shut, the tension to keep it shut. And that's your little policy envelope. So now what I did was to bring this booklet back in. This is that back flap as it comes closed this way. I'm going to end up gluing this here, but I want to glue it closer to this edge, not all the way on the edge. I'm not going to do that, but you have the ability to place this where you want. What I want to do is place this down just a little bit so that it's not centered, and closer to the edge of this flap, but not all the way on it. And then I'm going to glue 3 sides. That's what I did on the other one. That way this is also can act as another tuck spot. So again, I'm going to just put it here, closer to the left side, and then closer to the bottom, but not exactly at them. And then I will burnish that down. That just means I have another little tuck spot. Let's see if I already have something here. So that'll go in just like that, or like this. That's cute. Then you have this little policy envelope area where you can tuck something in. Oh, and I did forget. I want to use a little tiny hole punch here. This is that same 1 inch. I'm going to go ahead and make a little thumb indent just so that it's a little bit easier to get things out of here. So wouldn't this be cool to put some little seeds in? Maybe it's some dried tomato seeds, maybe it's some dried pepper seeds, whatever, lettuce, something like that. Okay, the last thing I have to do is this inside section to make this a pocket here. And I did have a piece cut, but apparently at this time I don't know where it is. Okay, we're gonna use this one, 5 1/4 by 6 1/4. Okay. So with that, we're going to go ahead and use our scoreboard, bring this back in, and we want it to be a pocket, a long pocket. So put in your scoreboard with the 5 1/4 inches at the top, and we're going to score it at 1/2 inch. Make a 1/4 turn, score it at 1/2 inch, make another 1/4 turn, and score it again at 1/2 inch. So score it on both long sides and 1 short side. And then we're gonna just quickly finish that. And I'm gonna figure out which side do I think I want. Do I want this one? Or do I want this one? I think I want this one. I think I might do that. Okay, so we have these bottom corners again that we're going to cut out. then I'm gonna go ahead and, this is gonna be the top. I wanna use a thumb, again, the circle punch. I'm just gonna eyeball that. And this is gonna be my pocket. So I'm gonna go ahead and roll the sides in first. Place a little bit of glue down here. Go ahead and pull up that bottom piece. Let that dry. Okay. Do a little dry fit here, and I made it a little short on purpose, okay? I'll make it a little bit easier to catch the stuff that you want in the pocket. And of course, you can make this an angled pocket if you like to. You know, there's many different ways you want it. I want it to be a long pocket. I would just suggest you don't stack too much in here because we don't have any gussets, so you don't want to do that. But I'm gonna go ahead and make this glued down there. Now we have this flap, we have this pocket, we have this open area that we can put a little piece of cardstock. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's do that size. Sure, why not? I think it's a little bit wide. Let's do 3 1/4. I like that a little bit better. We'll put this one straight. Or somewhat straight. I'm going to get some of these cutesy little things. Maybe here. These little ephemera pieces. Yeah, I like this. I'm going to glue the side of this on so I can use it as a tuck spot. Where I just start grabbing little bits from my little stack of cut pieces and start seeing how can I use them. So there, a little booklet. We can stick it in there, or we can stick it here. All right. We have this pocket here. I want to cut this down. I'm going to cut it down to 5.5 inches. And then I'm going to cut it down to 4 1/4. It already is, Nicole. Okay, 4. Maybe 3 3 3/4. Stick that in there. We'll load them up. That. These corners. So now we're just playing, see? Okay. What do I want? Ooh, that's pretty. Ooh, that's pretty. What do we want on the front? I still want to do something here. Ooh, I might do this. Yep. I like that. trim. Makes it look like it has a top. Do I need a bottom one on? I need a bottom one on as well. Okay, I'm gonna glue. This is a little 1/4" strip that I just got from trimming off some of my papers. So I'm just gonna stick that there. I need another little 1/4" piece. So I'm just gonna cut it. There we go. A little long. All fixed. Oh, that looks pretty. See, I didn't have to cut it straight either. Oh, that's cool. Oh, I had stamped this before. I like this. I think I might have another one. Ooh, I got these goodies. Oh yeah, see? I like this one. This is an embossed stamp that I had done. Ooh, I think with Tamra's very first. I might put another little Brad there. That would be cute. Very first virtual retreat, the bee one. Pretty sure that's what that's from. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and make this. Oop, that's not the pokey tool. Pokey tool, here you are. Okay, don't stab your finger. Now, place this in here. This Brad. Don't stab your finger. Make sure it's turned the right way so that you can open your Brad. That's cute. I like that. This was still cute. Okay. What am I going to do here on the front? Oh. I know what I wanted. Okay, what am I going to use to hold this closed? I'm just going to tie it with some seam binding that I crinkled up. This is available at Country Craft Creations as well. I like it. Crinkle, crinkle. There we go. What do I have here? Too much. I have a cut apart. Flowers of the Field, Handbook of Bee Culture. Ooh, I like that. Is that the one I want? Is that the one I want? I like the pansy mix. Let's do this one. Yes, I like that. I like that. I like that. Oh, and now I know. the little flowers. What about My Colors cardstock? We put a little bit of yellow. Yep. 3.5. How's that? That sticks out good. Do we need a little blue behind it? Do we need a little white? I like the blue. Let's do a little bit of blue. I just layer them on top. I hold them because that's my little device. Go. I like it. These two colors of My Colors cardstock were Lemon Sorbet and Dutch Blue. Oh, it's pretty. It is very pretty. So let's go ahead and do the matting on this. Like so. Tool. We don't need anything to be perfect. Just to be a little bit wonky on here because it's handmade, right? A little bit wonky. Gives it a little bit of that rolled edge on there, the little bit of frayed. It's good. Nice, I like that. Let's stuff this in here. I like where that's at. I'm gonna hold it down. I'm gonna place some glue. Let's stick it down. Just stick it down. Slide like that. If you want the ribbon to stay on, you can always do something like this that you've glued on either side. So we can do that. Okay. It's like a little belt. I'm gonna do that too. In my fingers and kind of bending it a little bit because I'm trying to make like a little channel for that seam binding. So I'm only going to place the glue along the edge on this top. So very top and this very bottom, not on the middle. I'm gonna place that here and burnish it. Okay. And doesn't stand out enough. Stand out enough. Spring is in the air. Yeah, it doesn't really stand out enough. Let me see. What I have little goodies that I was given. Oh, this is cute. My heart belongs to you. What if I put him a little cockeyed? That's cute. I got this in a swap. He's so cute. And that's our little book. This is the sheet pocket booklet. Where's the top to my glue? Right there. I'm probably gonna add a couple little odds and ends. Oh, so sweet, honey. That's cute. I like that somewhere. I'm gonna add that somewhere, but anyway, open it up, fold it open. We have this spot for a picture here. Open it up again. We need to add some of our ephemera pieces, our cut aparts in here so we can use it for decorating, right? We got some of our papers, which we can just use our copy paper for. Get a couple of sheets of copy paper. 1, 2, 3 will be good. Just fold it over, place it in here. I'm gonna go ahead and burnish that. These are just some strips that I had off of another project. And I'm just gonna trim this real quick. So that is down to 4 1/4 inches tall, so it will fit in here nicely. Oh, I need to get a smidgen further off. So I'm gonna trim this actually at 4 inches in height. So it would have been an 8-inch piece of paper, score in half. I just fold it in half. And I did that, and then I'm gonna open this up and I'm gonna use my little tiny attacher. On my example, and that's it. And that's the little booklet that's there. So you can tuck that in here. You can tuck that in any of these little pockets, or you can put that behind the belly band. On the example that I've lost under my desk, there we go. I created this little booklet, which was just a piece of paper. Again, the copy paper, I added a few sheets here. I think I have 4 sheets here. I cut it down to size. I went ahead and rounded the corners. I opened it up like this and stitched down the middle with my sewing machine, and then folded it back over and burnished it really well, and that was it. And so all of this fits. These can fit, you know, in here, just like so. Or you can stick it in the pockets, just like this. You can stick it in this pocket. You can stick it in here. So you can start to see that you can fit a lot of pictures in here in this little tiny booklet that was made just from a 12 by 12 sheet of paper. Anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this. I know it ended up being a long tutorial, but I like that one. Do you see it there? Do you see it there? See it there? See it there? I'm gonna keep playing. Anyhow, I hope you have enjoyed this, and I look forward to seeing you back here real soon on my channel, and share a project with me. You can go and get this paper, Bloom Where You're Planted, from Country Craft Creations. It's a wonderful paper line to work with, and thanks for watching, everyone. Until next time, happy crafting, you all. Bye.